mention your quotes?
Okay, so my quote says, it's by Theodore Roosevelt, and it says, in any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is do the right thing. The next best thing that you can do is do the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing.
Mine is by Henry Ford, and it says nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs.
What were some of the themes or values that you saw within those quotes?
Well, it's saying that essentially the best things that you can do is just take action and move forward with some sort of I don't know, plan or any kind of anything that you feel is the right thing to do it. That can surely like benefit your organization or whatever it is. But it's also but what also should be part of it is to have failures. Like having failures or mistakes is not the worst thing to do. It's the next best thing that you can do. So taking action, accepting failures and mistakes. But one thing that is the worst thing is you can't just sit there and just not do anything.
And how would a bad action be better than not doing anything?
Oh, because you learn from your mistakes, and it's like a growing process. Like you take action, you go through failures, you take action again, learning from those previous failures. But then when you take action, you have failures and mistakes again. But then you learn from them, you take action again. So it's just kind of like this growing process. But you're always moving forward, learning from your mistakes and moving forward, and essentially, growing as a person and also helping your organizations thrive.
Well, nothing's particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. It's just is that if you strive to do things incrementally, then you will. It really piggybacks off of your quote, and that as long as you break down your steps, you can make gains. Like if you look at the final outcome, you're liable to not do anything at all because it's too overwhelming. But if you could break down something into smaller pieces, then you can achieve your goal. And I mean, Henry Ford, obviously, it was the strategy of the Ford motor, the production line, which was breaking each part of building a car down into just that little part, with one person doing that, and then at the end you have a huge, gigantic car. So this also made me think of teamwork, because if you break down, if everybody in the team has the same goal and you divide it up among the team members into little parts, and then everybody does their little part, then you reach that goal. So this also made me think of teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that you guys picked randomly, but somehow you both selected quotes that were very compatible. So yeah, I think that's what strategic planning is all about, figuring out what the best way is to get to an end result. We will move on to go over the agenda. We've done the welcome and the introductions. And what we're going to do next is go over what strategic planning is and give a little bit of a background onto strategic planning. We're going to develop a strategic plan, so you will actually walk out with some tools to be able to do this moving forward with other organizations. And we'll have some time for reflection and summary. So, have you all met? I don't know if you do introductions in all of your workshops. But do you do introductions? This is like the 6th time we've done this.
No, Brent is new.
Oh, okay, fabulous. So if you don't mind sharing name, your interest in this workshop or the series, and some thoughts about, name, major, interest in the series, and thoughts about what some of your future goals and plans are.
Well, I'm CJ, and my major is international relations. I'm doing the whole series. So this is the fifth one. There's one more after this. There were three in spring. And I actually don't really have a good idea of what, a good understanding of what strategic planning actually is. So I'm really excited to be at this workshop. And my goal is to finish college and get a Bachelor of Arts degree.
My name is Brenda. I'm a senior, and I'm majoring in French and also international relations. My goal is to, like after college.
Whatever
Well,
short, long-term goal you're looking at right now.
Well, after college, I plan to go to law school, and move to LA hopefully. And an organization that I belong to, because it's up there.
Oh, right.
Is I'm the office assistant for the language department, and I think that my interest in coming here to the series, is I think that strategic planning is very important, and it's something that I feel like I really had to learn in the past 4 years, with like the activities that I've taken in the past 4 years, and I feel like if I had known perhaps like more about strategic planning in the past, I feel like I could have been more like productive, but like now that it is here, I want to take advantage of it for like the future, any future work that I do that involves strategic planning, which would be almost anything. So,
And CJ, group organization that you belong to?
I don't really officially belong to an organization right now, but I'm forming just like a chat group of people with hidden disabilities because I have a mental illness, and I'm trying to be more trying to get more involved in organizations, state, local, national, around mental illness.
So I introduced myself, Ines Barbosa from Career Services. For me, Career Services is in a rebuilding mode, so this is actually my day-to-day, is thinking about how to move the office forward to make sure that we are serving students in the best capacity that we can so they're prepared to take advantage of their education. So I'm living and breathing this right now.
Fabulous. You all know me. I send you
Oh, come
emails all the
on.
time. And me and Brenda know each other.
Do you want to share some aspect in which maybe an organization that you belong to that use some strategic, bring back tools for strategic planning?
Sure. So I'm part of OSA, and we're constantly changing and building. So OSA Leadership Development Series is one of them, as well as a graduate programming board. So I feel like we do this in a day-to-day as well. Yeah.
So I'm really glad that Brenda said that she's done some planning and that she could use this more in her life, because I think that strategic planning is like an academic, maybe a professional term for things that you do every single day. So all of you got into college, right? So you had a plan and you executed some steps to make that happen. And you're all getting through and completing courses and successfully making it on to the next semester. Again, executing, you had a vision, you created some kind of goals, you've met them, and you're seeing the fruits of those labors. So strategic planning is all over, and you already have some practice. So what today's session hopes to do is to give you some tools to understand it and to be able to more effectively, and I think the key word here is intentionally, move towards progress or, meeting some larger mission. And so I think that, by thinking intentionally about the activities which an organization does, or again, you as an individual do, that kind of leads you to better results. And so strategic planning is about intentionality, it's about effectiveness, and it's about efficiency. Questions about the definition? Or
Intentionality, effectiveness, and efficiency.
That's how I would
Is
sum it
that
up.
what you just
Mhm.
said?
Mhm.
I like that.
And it's, again, when talking about organizations, it's helping organizations, you know, work better by being more intentional, efficient, and then being able to be more effective. And so yes, so some of the intended results are increases in effectiveness, efficiency, making sure everyone understands the organization, the intention, right? We all read quotes, and you know, we're at liberty to interpret those as we wished. And so it was in talking about it and you know, addressing a specific question that we actually came to a consensus, or we understood at least where different people were about the understanding. So the improved understanding within organizations is a very important part of the strategic planning process. So that also leads to better decision making, because if everyone has the same understanding of what the goals and the vision are for the organization, you can make better decisions moving forward. It also allows you to enhance capabilities. Again, when everyone has a clear understanding of where the organization's going and how they're going to get there, it allows people to maximize their strengths and make sure that you're using people, again, more effectively and efficiently. And it also improves communication and public relations. Again, once your organization is in line and understands where you're going to go and how you're going to get there, you can communicate that with outside constituencies and bring them on board as well. So there are essentially 4 basic components to strategic planning: mission, vision, values, and goals. And the idea here is to come up with to give you kind of standard definition of these 4 words, values, processes, so that moving forward, understand, bless you, what they are. Because there is a lot of overlap in some of them. However, in this context, you know, the biggest picture, or the most concrete picture, is mission. So the reason that an organization exists and its statement of purpose, the reason for being for any organization, that is the mission. Okay? Questions about that? Mission and vision are very similar, but in the context of strategic planning, the vision is where do you want to be, right? So the mission deals with the reality of what's going on now and what the organization is doing. The vision is all about what kind of change, what do you aspire the world to be because of your existence. Value statements give you the principles by which you are going to achieve your mission. So that, again, pinpoints how it is you will achieve your vision, how it is day to day that you meet your mission. And the last piece are the organizational goals, right? Because visions are very forward-facing, how you want things to be. Mission talks about your now. Goals are those stepping stones, right? What are concrete things that you're going to accomplish, which will allow you to one day live your mission, your vision. Any questions?
Which one are the stepping stones?
The goals. So think of mission as what challenge, what you are dealing with now. Vision, how do you want things to be? The values are what guides your actions, and the goals are how you're going to get to your vision. Okay, so we're actually going to do an activity now in which you are going to go through the process of creating a strategic plan. And you all should have the handout. The idea is that you think about creating an organization and you go through the steps of doing the strategic plan, right? So in organizing, strategic plan at the very beginning of an organization is very helpful in terms of providing a solid foundation for its actions moving forward. However, strategic planning can happen at any stage of an organization's life and can be impacted by things like changing financial situations, for good or better. It can be impacted by changes in climate. You know, your mission is to alleviate poverty, but suddenly, you know, the federal government's letting everyone go to college and funding it, and poverty is cut in half in the next 4 years. You know, so how does that still How does your organization stay relevant? It can also be impacted by just meeting your vision. You know, what happens again when your organization is so successful that the vision is met? Does that mean that there's no other place, or does that mean there's other work to be done for the organization? So all of those are instances in which strategic planning can take place, and you'll have about half an hour to go through the worksheet and go through the practice of creating your own organization. Okay? And feel free to ask questions as you go through.
Can we get the lights back on for this part?
I'm going to turn the back lights on because it's hard to see the.
So we're doing this together, right?
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. We're actually going to dissect the mission and vision first, before we jump into the other piece. So with this document, we're actually going to examine some mission, vision, organizational values, and goals statements from actual organizations. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to look at these and comment, and then we'll discuss before you jump into the
you
plan.
want us to write a mission?
You will eventually, with your action plan, write a mission or, whatever state of some of these things, or list out important components. But we're going to actually start off by reviewing current organizations, mission, vision, values, and goals.
So read this first, and then we'll talk about this one.
Yes.
we're critiquing them, right? We're doing what it
Mhm.
says at the top.
We feel ready to look at the missions? Start discussing those? Okay, anything, things that stood out?
I like Google's. I didn't have a lot of, I didn't have any actually comments on the mission statements. It might just be my lack of comprehension of good mission statements, but I really like Google's because they are, like, they kind of just make, like, this search engine very concise in their mission statement. Like, they are organizing the world's information. That's like the world's information is like, whoa, everything. And then make it universally accessible and useful. I think that's pretty much what they're doing. You know, that I feel like that's very accurate.
Yeah, I have had experience with I'm a returning student, I came working in organizations that had mission statements and vision statements and values and goals, and so I'm very, very, and I'm also taking administrative behavior. So our professor mentioned something about how fluffy a lot of these things are, and so I'm very kind of critical of all four of these topics. So I also like Google because it's clear and concise, and I thought the most hysterical thing was the honesty. Great taste for all, like that doesn't even mean anything. It's word, and their whole mission is wordy and it's really flowery, and you can kind of tell that some of the, you know, when not only with the mission statements, but some of the other vision, values, and goals, like if they were written by an ad company or like a promotional company, instead of just this is the mission, you know.
And what are some pros and cons of something that's maybe not as clear?
Well, when something not clear is obviously very ambiguous and not trustworthy.
Yet at the same time, you can go anywhere you want while still holding true to the mission.
Right, so for some organizations, they might want that flexibility, that, you know, what is it, you know, great tasting, truly healthy organic beverages? Is it soda? Is it juice? You know, are they switching markets? So yeah, sometimes people choose to leave them ambiguous in that way. Other thoughts on the missions? Have you seen Mills before?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Any thoughts on
It's too long.
that? It is a higher ed institution, so.
Just well, too long is I think it's fine for me, because a mission is like sometimes it could be dense and sometimes it has to be like very like catching people's attention and making sure that you feel like you can trust them. But yeah, I mean it's good. It's good. It's what it's trying to do. You know, that's the mission that it's trying to go for. So.
Right. Again, as a higher ed organization, they're probably wanting to be more inclusive versus limiting because so many different circumstances. Essentially, students can fit in all of these. They don't have to get all of them, right? But as long as it touches on experiences for each student, then it's, you know, it holds true, right? What about the vision statements?
I love Facebook's because that's like what Facebook is doing. It's concise, it's direct, and if their end result, you know, people use Facebook, is that they want people to use Facebook to stay connected with friends and family, to discover what's going on in the world, and to share and express what matters to them. It seems like how that vision statement is to Facebook is like how the mission statement is to Google. It's like, yeah, they're doing this or they're accomplishing this or whatever. So I thought it was clear and direct and concise, and in line with the product.
Well, for Habitat Humanity, I was at first when I read it, I was like, oh, well, that's it. That was my reaction, like that's it. But then, so I'm not really sure. Like, I mean, I like it. That's nice in a world where everyone has a decent place to live. But I'm wondering, like, I guess maybe that short sentence speaks for itself, you know. And it kind of goes, it goes very well hand in hand with the title Habitat for Humanity. I'm just wondering if there's like something else that they should add. But I mean, it's good.
Again, that might be an example where they're leaving space, you know, by not defining what decent place to live is. You know, essentially, their vision could forever be, this organization could forever be in existence, right? Until there's a consensus of what a decent place to live is.
The Nike one was really, to me, seems super egotistical and overreaching because it's like too vague. Even if you want mission, values, goals, and vision to be kind of open-ended, so you can shift or appeal to all people or whatever. To bring inspiration to every athlete in the world is just like, that just seems so egotistical to me.
For me, it seemed like, through shoes. Like, innovation to every athlete. I consider myself an athlete, because I've been in like the soccer team, the track team, and I like to say like I'm active, but I never wear Nikes, and I just like I do have some pair of Nikes, but to me they're just like shoes that are that are specifically designed to run or to like do exercise, but I don't feel innovated or inspirational through my old Nikes.
Right.
So.
And I think sometimes there's tension, right, with what the organization wants to share and how it wants to be perceived. And visioning is oftentimes it is marketing, right? So there are firms that do marketing and branding that also do strategic planning, right? And so these obviously have been wordsmithed to death with an intentional outcome in mind. When I saw that one, I thought, oh, world peace. It's so big and broad out there again that it's hard to pinpoint, oh, yes, you've reached this, right? Unless you're able to survey everyone in the world.
At the same time, I feel like it fits Nike. Because, like, when I think of Nike, I do see, like, egotistical, like, just trying to be cool type of thing. So I feel like even though to us we're like, oh, that's a weird vision statement, it kind of matches, like, the brand, like, the brand's personality.
Right. And ultimately, whether it's good or bad, most branding people will say, that's great.
Yeah.
Because you do
thought
want to
it.
stay on brand. You want to project a certain image. So the people who like it will be your clients, and the ones who don't, will not. Fabulous. Moving on to organizational values.
I thought the Bank of America one was totally wordsmithed and written by a marketing organization. It even sounds like an ad. Deliver together, act responsibly, realize the power of our people, trust the team.
And it's so ironic.
Doesn't that sound like a
Bank of
10-second
America?
commercial?
For real?
What?
That's funny. That was Bank of America?
Yeah.
That's funny.
It doesn't seem like it's like.
Thank you.
Oh,
I think that those aren't really like. I don't know. Maybe they are values, but like it just doesn't really seem like you could go for like a. I mean, I guess it does like, but they're just kind of weird values. Like I feel like they should have values that are more like. I guess that goes more with like a bank, like the Body Shop. Those are values. Those are good values, I think. But the Bank of America doesn't really have lots of things to do with. I mean, yeah, like act responsibly. It's obviously part of any kind of organization, no matter who you are. But it's like already obvious, that should be an obvious value. Like it should be embedded in every single sector. So I just think that there should be more to it, more to the values.
Yeah. So my guess would be, given the housing crisis, that they probably just redid these recently.
Yeah.
Because yes, I think act